401k, organized theft of retirement funds. Who originated 401k's? Reagan, Bush. To understand the theft inherent in the wrongness of 401k plans, consider the retirement picture 30 years ago. Corporations put money into plants and jobs to provide for workers when they retired. Plants, productivity, and jobs increased. Today, corporations give retirement money to employees, while corporations give astronomical stock options to executives. The executives bleed these options into the stock market, with the employees' retirement money going into the executives' and directors' pockets, not into plants, productivity, and jobs. In other words, the number of symbols increased while the substance decreased. Were the corporate decision makers solving more problems? This graph shows the impact of businesses not investing in higher domestic productivity. With 401k plans and CEOs getting their employees' retirement funds through self-approved stock options, it didn't matter if American jobs were kept or lost. The AOL-Time Warner merger was a great example of decapitalism of American workers by corporate executives who used stock options feeding into 401k's to steal ungodly dollars. The top 5 executives in AOL and Time Warner cashed out $1.8 billion in 1 year at prices of upwards of $45, for which they paid a few pennies or nothing. With the development of 401k's to privatize workers' savings, the average retirement package has dropped from over $200,000 to less than $50,000. It's nice to get a monthly statement with big numbers, but it's better to have bigger numbers hidden in a company-defined pension. Enron executives bleeding their employees' 401k plan was the rule, not the exception. Amazingly, the American worker votes for the political party that was and is the champion of privatizing pensions, energy, etc. When has a Republican administration privatized something and the average American come out ahead? Of course, Republicans could not have privatized without their co-enablers, the Democrats. Corporate compensation of executives and directors has become decapitalistic, stealing past and future livelihoods of working Americans. The vehicle of theft has been 401k plans and its relatives. Diversity is the answer. Financial advisors, in their defense and for their checkbooks, argue that workers need to diversify their 401k plans to avoid an Enron fate. There's a problem with this lie. What if every parent says they don't need to properly raise their children since they are not counting on their children to take care of them? Who takes care of the older generation if none of the younger generation wants to care? Who cares? Rats and lice. Likewise, if all workers say they will invest in other workers' companies, what company is worth investing in? Diversification is just another dog-chasing tail illusion of doing something with your money. For most people, their 401k diversifying rollovers mean that they will roll over and be dead. What could have prompted people to realize the potential hellish losses of 401k's? Truth in numbering. Verily, 401k plans are sick, sick, sick. 401k plans are in a state of collapse, with no better example than Charles Schwab. On the one hand, Schwab advertises that people should invest in 401k's and use Schwab as their broker. This is the Schwab talk. On the other hand, the Schwab walk, Charles Schwab has curtailed 401k options for its own employees. What's wrong with this picture? Where have we seen it before? Enron, where execs were telling employees to buy stocks, with 401k plans doing something else. New sources of financial diabetes are being created by the people who gave us 401ks. Cash balance pension. Japan has passed a 401k plan modeled on the U.S. plans. Japanese workers and voters are strongly encouraged to look at what happened to American pensions and savings, as 401ks were used to transfer wealth from workers to paper players. The Japanese Prime Minister in spring 2003 said that he wanted to double the rate of 401k investment by workers within a year. Good for political contributions, bad for retirement security. There is a long-term downside to people wanting to steal like CEOs did during the bubble. The downside is angry managers. Richard Parson, the head of AOL Time Warner, summed it up best in February 2002. There's still a lot of anger because of the money people lost in their 401ks and stock plans, and AOL is just the repository for that anger, he said. People are emoting and spewing, trying to get past it, but you never get over something like this. The best you can do is get beyond it. Parsons can handle these flare-ups better than anybody. Racist and Wall Streeters share the penchant for misusing good words and phrases to enslave the common man. For example, states' rights and free markets. What was the mantra behind IRAs and 401ks? Free markets. A penchant for your pension. A time analysis of what the racist wants and the stock trader achieves shows that both are slave traders in deed and heart. The racist longs for a slave status for those who he does not like, while the stock trader enslaves people to a lower standard of living. This is what Wall Streeters, financial advisors, tenured economists, and habitual politicians did to Americans. IRAs and 401ks are saltwater solutions to the need of a retirement fund. If your company and you are not maxing out the tax benefits 100%, then you are subjecting yourself to paying the taxes that 100% exemptor is skipping out. If you support 401ks instead of traditional retirement plans, don't be surprised if you have a funny taste in your mouth when you turn 65, 70, 75, that is, the sweaty salt of working hard and long. There are many reasons why humanity is in an existential meltdown. These politically pretty but phony pension plans is a reason that we are going to crash because the average person does not realize that their plans are saltwater solutions. Where did this 401k mess come from, and why is it still going? The Reagan administration legalized IRAs. The first Bush administration initiated the replacement of traditional defined pensions with 401k contribution plans. But the Republicans could not have done this alone. In 1995, the U.S. Congress passed a law saying that corporate executives and directors would no longer be responsible for inaccuracies in bookkeeping and accounting. Of course, it was no coincidence that campaign contributions increased for similar business beneficial laws. The 1990s was a massive transfer of who owns America to a fewer few. It didn't create time. It wasn't problem-solving rewards. It wasn't capitalism. It was time-wasting, problem-causing decapitalism, cast with an expanding web of legal Wall Street lies. A more general way of describing the 401k debacle is that the dollar is dead as a public and private problem-solving tool. Do you feel good about the dollars you have in Social Security? How about the dollars that the Republicans said should be privatized in 401k's? Amazingly, people keep voting for the party of privatization when every instance of deregulation has led to higher costs and hassles. Electricity, medicine, pensions, etc. Wait till they privatize water. With the dollar being dead as a public and private problem-solving tool, a new currency is needed to motivate and reward problem solvers. The new currency must not be cheapened like the dollar. It must be an honest pay for an honest hour of work, the life hour. Each day you pray for a 401k is a day you lose more of your life and hours.